think many interfaces today, and that's not just in hi-fi, but in general, start from a technology point of view. So it's all about you've got a certain technology and you put it on a product, regardless of whether that makes sense or it doesn't. And we didn't want to do that because we think that makes for a poorer experience. What we want to do is to have a hi-fi system that's great to use, and more importantly, that has a user interface that you can forget about, because it gives you everything you need in that moment, but nothing that you don't. We've tried many different technologies. It was touch screens, it was only buttons, and what we found is that physical buttons still work and that they actually make it easier for the user to navigate the system and the settings. Also, we found that users still want to have easy access to volume control. That's why we have a dedicated volume knob, which is just a swivel wheel you can easily just turn in each direction. And we've got one, we call it operating knob, which does all the operations, play, pause, navigate lists, all those kind of things. And the important lesson we learned is that today's users care less about very device-specific operation. So learning how the device operates to get the maximum out of it, and they care much more about consistency, so that there is a similar approach to all T+A devices. We found that our customers have changed. In the past, our customers were very willing to read the manual and to study the product in depth before even setting it up. And now we've found that a large group, and I count myself to that group, don't want to do that. And what we prefer is have the device walk us through the setup process, so that the device more or less asks you questions about your environment if you haven't hooked anything up yet. You don't even need to know the specific lingo. For example, do you have an HDMI or digital cable? It just basically shows you what the cable could look like, and you just point to it, you press the button. Great thing also is that we don't rely on an app. So we've really focused on making the device accessible through whichever means the customer would like to. So that means, of course, if they want to use the app, fine, but you can also use the device or a remote control. One of the most important things always is to get the feedback that you don't want to hear in such a thing. And so we've tested every single step of the operation. That starts with how we categorized our sources, that we've had a large screen of source category names, and then we've asked our participants to just put each source in the respective category, and we then cross-reference that with what we came up with, just to see, do we get it right, and do we set up categories that people actually understand and view equally as we do? Because the worst thing to do is to set up a category that no one understands and doesn't know what to look for. The entire thing has been taking us more than 2 years now, from starting with the first target customer defining of what they would want to do with the device, that of course leading then to aggregate customers, where we've got 4 target customer groups, which are actually, each one is the aggregate of several different customers. That led to certain requirements that we have, lists of what we think these people would want to see in the device. That was really a process of more than a year to get the foundations right before you even start with the first line of code. And we plan to keep working on this interface because frankly, you're never done. And whenever something changes in the world in terms of user interfaces, things that are easier to operate, we will of course want to incorporate that in our system as well, and just keep the software growing and getting better and better with each iteration.